And we're sitting down with Dr. Schaefer once again, this time to chat about holiday stress. The holiday season is upon us, folks. So, how do we enjoy this time of year, Dr. Schaefer, while spending time with our friends and family without the overwhelming stress that seems to be going with it?
Eric, thank you so much for having me back on the show to discuss this because it is so important that we set our intention for the holiday season ahead of time so we stay focused on what really matters. And a big part of setting your intention is actually determining what that is. When you're looking at the holiday season and you're thinking about the gifts and the activities and the food and the travel, it can be really overwhelming. But one thing you can do to help yourself is to decide intentionally what you want to focus on for yourself or your family this season and what you're not going to stress out about so that you have your energy focused on what brings you joy and not stress during the holidays.
Okay. Now, hearing that, I already see that inner voice. I'm trying to not do the things that stress me out over the holidays, but then there's that voice. Well, why aren't you getting gifts for all 30 members of your extended family? And if you don't get them the perfect gift, people are going to be upset at you. How do we get that voice to be quiet, for lack of a better way of putting it, Dr. Schaefer?
It's always important to listen to ourselves and to ask important questions. So when we feel really triggered, when we feel that anxiety about, oh, what if I don't get the right gifts? What if I don't get someone a gift and they give me a gift? To really think about, okay, what's the worst thing that's happened on times when I didn't get a gift and someone gave me a gift? Nothing bad happened, right? We can always get a gift another time. And to understand that gift giving isn't just about transaction, it's just simply a gift. A gift is given without the intent of receiving, if we're really doing so from the intended place. So there's no reason to bring that anxiety to the table. But if you're feeling that anxiety, asking yourself the questions, why? And working on how you can reframe that so that you have a plan for when you do get triggered by anxiety or worries during the holiday season. So those worries don't basically take over this joyous time. Instead, you can decide to lean into the things that really do bring you joy and allow you to show up in a joyful manner for your family. Because if you're stressed all the time, you're not creating those joyful memories that you want for your family and your friends.
You're absolutely right. And I find myself personally falling into that because Christmas is one of my favorite holidays. I find joy in all aspects of it, but there still is that stress. Is there a tool you would suggest or a tip you would give to kind of start that process of weeding out the stressful elements? Because although they may bring us holiday joy, for lack of a better way of putting it, that 5 minutes of being like, I got everyone gifts is nothing compared to the month leading up to it, of finding the gifts, getting the gifts, wrapping the gifts. How can we get started on the process of weeding out the things that don't bring us joy during the holiday season?
And the financial stress of it too,
Oh,
right? That's something that can be really overwhelming. And we all know with things like inflation that it's getting harder and harder to buy 30 presents, like we said, for everyone we know and love. There are ways that we can actually have a more connecting experience with others by thinking, okay, I want to give a gift. What gift can I give that I know will touch this person? And that may be sending them a text message during a week that you know is really challenging for them, or offering to bake cookies with them when you know they've got a big bake off with their kids' school. Doing
oh,
something that actually is a connecting activity rather than worrying about buying presents or things that don't bring you joy is going to help facilitate that relationship. And at the end, when it comes to buying presents or showing up at family gatherings that maybe you just can't accommodate this year because you're in school or you're traveling, it's really important that we learn to give ourselves grace and the people in our lives grace and to say that this holiday can be celebrated on another day if it doesn't work for our schedule, that it's about connection. It's not about gifts and it's not about a calendar date. It's just about being with the people we love and celebrating the season.
such Absolutely wonderful advice. And I guess I would tack on to that. It's also not about competition, folks. You don't need to compete with your neighbors over who has the best Christmas display. You don't have to compete with your family members over who gives the best gifts. It's all about the intent, thought, and love behind all of this. Dr. Schaefer, where can people go to get more information on topics exactly like this one, but also take in your podcast to get more insight into just a plethora of useful information?
Thank you so much, Eric. Well, everyone can head over to www.drschaeferstedronova.com to the website, as well as search on Spotify, Apple, YouTube for Talks with Dr. Schaefer, and join us in some really wonderful conversations where we talk about mindset so that we are ready to deal with these stressful circumstances, as well as share amazing stories from guests.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dr. Schaefer, for sitting down and chatting with us on ways we can hopefully navigate this stressful holiday season. And we're going to make sure that all the links you need, it's all going to be available after the show day on our website, 9and10news.com.